Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your June 2021 money and career reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps this channel out. It helps get these messages to more people, and it makes me eternally grateful to you guys. So thank you so very much. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Libra, June 2021 money and career, Libra. June 2021 money and career, Libra. June 2021 money and career, Libra. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. 3. Libra, June 2021 money and career, Libra. June 2021 money and career, Libra. Angels and spirit guides. All right, let me go get that card that just escaped. You guys get to hear my squeaky floor. So the energy up top, the cards up top, this is the energy that crowns us. On the bottom, this is the energy that roots us. So we have the Seven of Pentacles, the Empress, and the Star at our root. And of course, at our crown, we have the Seven of Wands and the King of Swords. And the King of Swords, of course, represents us in the minor arcana. We're represented by the swords in the minor arcana. We're represented by justice in the major arcana. So there's 7 is a very interesting number. It's a number that calls us out on things. It's also a number that brings us closer to spiritual awakening and wisdom. It also makes us very drawn to ancient spiritual wisdom. We have to be patient, but we're going to want to fight. We're going to want to fight, especially within our career, for the place that we want to be, for what we desire. And this isn't saying, just stay in your lane, be quiet, sit down, people will recognize you if you just do your work really, really well. No, you have to make yourself known, of course. But this is saying don't get involved in office politics. Don't take sides. Look at the project that you're working on. Look at what it is that you want and go for that. It's about the customer. It's about the quality of the product that we're producing. It's about the quality of the product that we're selling. And it's going to need to be about that. If you are spoken to by anybody during this time, why is this going on? Why is that? It's listen, I don't know. I don't want to know, or I do know. These are the facts. Just keep it to the facts during this time, because there's something here that you're growing towards your dreams, but you have to be patient. And if you get involved in this, it's going to pull you down. It really is. It's going to pull you down. So keep it to the facts. Keep it to things being astoundingly logical, astoundingly based on wherever it is that you work, however it is that you work, based on the quality that you are producing and the interactions that you are focusing on, that you have to to interact with during this time, the people, the ideas, whatever that is. That's going to be very, very, very important. Now, let's see the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Libra needs to be mindful of? June 2021, money and career. What is the energy that Libra needs to be mindful of? June 2021, money and career. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. The Prince of Pentacles. We need to be mindful of using money as a shield, because what just struck me about this is that he's hiding behind his shield. And I never saw this card quite like that before. So there's going to be the sense of, if I can acquire enough money, if I can get to this certain point, I'll be safe, I'll be safe, I'll be safe. And the fact of the matter is, yes, acquiring money does make life easier. And anybody who doesn't know that didn't have money. So acquiring money does make things easier. It makes bills easier to pay. It makes, getting a car and things like that easier. But also during this time, we need to not hide behind what we want because of money. So what Spirit is saying here is that if we make money our only aim, which we can easily do during this time, we can make work, money, what will produce a greater outcome. It doesn't matter where exactly we are within our life, within our career. We'll make this our aim, and we'll slowly and steadily move forward to it. And we'll use it as a shield to kind of plow our way through everything else. That will actually diminish the creative process, and it will diminish the dreams to what can be forcefully achieved instead of what can be kind of organically, holistically achieved. And let's look at your chakra energy. Libra, June 2021, money and career. Libra, June 2021, money and career. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Clarity, the third eye chakra. Our eyes are opening. We're seeing things in a different light. We're seeing people in a different light. We're also seeing ourselves and what we want. Do not be surprised at all if what you desire starts to change. And you're like, I never thought I'd walk down this path. I never thought this would be my calling or what I desire or what I needed at this time. But it is definitely going to be this way, that all of a sudden we start to see things more clearly. We start to see things more instinctually. We start to move forward, like have this idea and have it culminate in our life in a very real way, in a very open way. So the clarity comes in, and it might be actually overwhelming at times to have this clarity come forward. Now, let's start with our roots. We need to start off with patience. Why? Because we're creating something, and the High Priestess is depicted in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck as pregnant. So we need to have patience with the gestational period, with the period of the building and construction of ideas. Now, we can have a really short gestation, kind of like a mouse being pregnant, or we can have a longer one like an elephant. So if we're really frustrated and saying, this isn't a time where I'm creating anything, nothing's coming of it, just know that the time that the dream takes to grow within us and the time that we are comfortable bringing that dream forward, it doesn't have to be one way or another. It doesn't have to be quick. It can be very, very long. We could actually be sitting on this dream for 15 years, 20 years to see it come forward, to see ourselves come forward within it, and to own what we are creating. So during this time, especially when it comes to money, we are creating something, but we're also crowned by the stars. And the stars are right here. So the star is also, of course, Aquarius energy, but this is a sense of our dreams and our wishes and our desires, but also the blessing of the cosmos, the sense of things being discovered that we hadn't seen before, realizations coming forward, power, insight. This is going to be something that really leads us forward. This is going to be something that we greatly desire during this time, to have these dreams be a part of us and to have ourselves look at what we had dreamt. Remember our ancestors. They were led by the stars. They believed that the stars held gods, that they were jewels within the sky. They built the pyramids. There we go. They built the pyramids to the stars. They mapped their way on boat and on land by the stars. And so here during this time, it's our wishes, it's our dreams, it's our desires that are guided as the stars guide us. And it's divinity seeing what we need, not what we want, that is really coming forward during this time. And we have to be patient with the harvest that is coming. It doesn't mean, again, that we just say, okay, I'm going to sit back. I'm not going to let anybody know that I want more than where I am right now. And if at work is to pay the bills. It's to, do what needs to be done. that's noble. That's absolutely something to be proud of. And if we have something on the side, that's where our passion lies. That's where our insight and our dreams really start to come forward. Let that shine. Let that shine within you. Because this is something here where the payoff, it takes time, but it's going to be worthwhile. And this is a time where we ourselves are going to think, when it comes to our career, when it comes to our passion, I have to fight. I have to fight all the naysayers. I have to fight all the people who don't understand. I need things to move forward in a certain way. Why? Because we're seeing things much more clearly. We're seeing ourselves more clearly. We're seeing what we desire more clearly. And so this is going to make us think, oh, I need to fight this. I need to push forward this way. I need to go after this. And what divinity is saying is step back. Step back, because it's kind of like the person who always yells. If a person is always yelling, you don't listen to them. You're like, oh, okay. Or a person is always complaining. It's like, yeah, okay. That's just, you always complain. That's fine. So people tune that person out who always complains. But what we're seeing here is if we look at things and we say, you know what, not worth my energy, not worth my time, not worth the expense of who I am, I'm stepping back from this. I'm not getting involved. But then when we speak up and when we speak out, that's when people take notice. That's when people really start to listen. And it's like, oh, okay, so I guess this means something. Now, it doesn't mean everybody. There are people who will never listen, and it doesn't matter. But it's learning how to conserve our energy so that we can fight smarter and we can fight better. Because the King of Swords, which represents us, the King of Swords doesn't waste his energy. He doesn't waste his time with fools. He sees fools and thinks, no. The King of Swords also hones his power. The swords are the only weapon within the tarot. You can argue that, okay, the wand is being used as a weapon here. Yes, but it's also a walking staff. It could be a torch. It can be a myriad of other things. A sword is simply a sword. It denotes power. It symbolizes power, even if it's decorative. And it takes skill to be able to wield and use. For us to be able to speak our mind, to know what we want, to see what we desire, to hone in on where we need to be, that takes time and effort. And that's what we're building. That's what's guiding us forward. And we're going to see this very honestly and very openly for ourselves, for where we want to be and for what we need. As we do so, we're going to start to stand out more. The kings aren't meant to be behind the scenes. The kings are the actors upon the stage. We're crowned with wearing the crown, with people taking note of us. And quite frankly, we want them to. We want them to hear our voice and what we desire because we are passionate, because we hold this fire, this brightness within us. And the air, well, it feeds it. We have to make sure to not feed it so that it becomes a temper that takes us over, but to feed our desire in a way that we stand up for what we want. We stand for what we want. And we have a security in saying, no, but this is me. This is where I'm headed. This is what I desire. And this is what I want. And that's what we're getting from the Seven of Wands. It's understanding when we're fighting just because we're so used to fighting. We're so used to being backed into the corner. We're so used to everything being a struggle. We're so used to having to push and fight and claw our way forward. Now's a time to rest and the dreams come true. What we have been nurturing comes forward into the world by divinity's design. And it makes us a king. It makes us powerful. It makes us insightful. It has us not putting up with anybody's nonsense. We do tend to focus a bit more on the facts as we see them, but that's also an air sign way of dealing with everything. Focus on the facts, focus on what needs to be seen, focus on what we deem to be the most important, and let that guide us forward. Let that be the insight, the passion, the desire that opens up our eyes and opens up ourselves. That's going to be the game changer during this time, the way that we can communicate, the way that we are not falling into the petty differences of others, the way that we see what we desire and own what we desire openly, honestly, but also with great regality and intensity. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is again the Pentacles. The King of Pentacles here is making money simply the aim. There's nothing wrong with money at all. It, again, provides security, lets you support your family. It's a good thing. But sitting here and saying, well, what's the bottom line? How is this going to make me money? How is this going to change things? How is this going to move things forward? That's when things start getting tricky. And that's when we start getting tripped up. So being mindful and looking at the interconnectedness of everything, but not looking at the interconnectedness simply for the bottom line is going to be very important. And not to start thinking that way, like, oh, well, how much can this make me and how much can that make me? To a certain extent, we have to think that way, especially if you run your own business or, if your job requires that. But boiling everything down to the numbers is going to decrease the creativity of this time. Our subconscious chakra message is our inner child. Our inner child is coming through very strongly, and it's saying it's time to embrace who we once were and to understand who we are today. How that person that we were when we were small and the world was very large and we were helpless and things were overwhelming. How to embrace that and see who we are and what we want and what we desire and what we're moving towards. There's a change that's coming in. It's a powerful and it's a brilliant change. If we hold our arms open to the child that we were and say, I love you, I'm here for you, I care for you, things become extraordinary. We become extraordinary. And it opens up our hearts in a way that increases our wealth and brings us to prosperity. Our subconscious rooted message is the Four of Swords. We have to honor the road that we have walked down. We have to honor the hurts, the pains, the disappointments that we have been through, how they have shaped us, how they have made us, and where it is that we want to go from here. But the honoring part is important because so often we look at when the road was hard, when there were hurts and pains and disappointments, when things veered off the Disney story track, right? Or what we see in movies. And we start to look at what we want now, what we desire, what we need, and where it is that we need to be. It moves us then to the energy that crowns us. And this is the Knight of Swords. We become the warrior. We cut through doubts and fears and negativity. We see what we desire and what we want, and we start to slay the dragons. And slaying the dragons is what empowers us. And as we look at the hurt and the pain and the disappointment that has defined us, we start to see that we are much more skilled than we ever thought we were, much more ready for the power ahead than we had thought could be possible. All right, Libra, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we focus our nightly energy on moving forward in ideas and desires and skills instead of hoarding it away. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra.